Hello beautiful people, nice to meet you again, and this time we're going to dive into Houdini and learn something together. This is not a super realistic effect, rather a technique, and this is not a production ready, but I hope you'll get an idea and experiment on your side and bring that to life with the final quality. So let's go to Houdini and do some VDB growth, do geometry growth. I'll try to show you two techniques how you could grow your geo and render it from start to finish. So let's go. Okay, we're in a fresh scene, create a geometry node, dive inside, create a file. And the thing is that this is not production ready or super realistic effect. It's just a technique you could show, and you could think about how to swap or switch between this effect and go to your final model, for example with camera cut or scene cut or something like that. Okay, create a match size. I need a model of a bottle, which I have here in the file node, and match size. Click here, scale to fit. This way we have something more reasonable to work with. Justify Y to min, like standing on the floor, and that's it for the model. Next step would be to delete this cup. Selection tool with primitive, double click. You could select your and different parts of your model, and while your cursor in the viewport, just press delete. Now you have this, right? Next step would be to delete this inside weird shape. Again, with selection mode, we need to, I think, to create a loop, select one, press A, and middle click on the mouse middle click on here. Then Shift and H to fill selection, and you could delete it again while you cursor on the viewport. Now you have this flat wall of the bottle. That will not work with our technique because we will use a VDB and SDF representation of the model, and that will require some thickness. So, and in my case, as I decided, it's not polygon extrusion, poly extrusion. It's not that necessary to have it perfect because I just need to show you a technique rather than a model ready, production ready. So what we have here, I want to extrude it inside with some small numbers, maybe 0.05, something like that. We have this penetration, but when we, and of course we need output back, when we convert that to VDB from polygon, I don't care about this. I don't care about the normals, and I don't care about anything else. We have this beautiful blob. Again, we need to decrease the voxel size, and voxels is this squares, these cubes rather. It's like VDB, it's like pixels in 3D. So it's VDB 3, and in this case, just to show you the technique, it's okay. We have two options, distance VDB, which is SDF, and Vox density, it's the fog, and volume, like I don't need it. We could fill interior, it will give you much more of a voxel, and it's okay. This is the first part. So we imagine that this is the final model that we will render. Of course, we'll need to convert that to polygon, but it's not now. Go and create a sphere. This sphere will serve us as a mask, like mask in the with Boolean or something like that. We could transfer that to primitive type to polygon, give it much more frequency, and we need to just cut a byte from this bottle. In order to do that, we need to create another VDB, and of course we could do it much not that high of resolution. And then we use VDB combine node. VDB combine is a boolean. We need to select something like that and change the operation mode to SDF intersection. So we have this piece, and this is our, I think we could see it watched like this, and this is our cut of bottle. Okay, the wall magic will be inside VDB morph node. VDB morph, sorry, VDB morph. It's weird because I don't have it right now. VDB morph SDF. And this node will allow you to grow your VDB on top of each frame. We need to do something, sorry, but we are on the way to do it. The first one will require source VDB, it's like our piece. The second one is the one we want to grow into. So our bottle is a shape and VDB that we want eventually this one small piece to become the whole bottle. And now we could select this and don't need to see a bottle, and we have everything the same, but the wall magic will appear in the times tab. Right now it's like very small number and we probably couldn't see anything, and just frame per second is like a constant number. But the time we print something like frame number, and this is like the presentation of this frame, that will show that we could grow it, right? Of course it's not working quite well here, and that's why I suggest to move to the solver. The solver is like the node that allow you to do operation on top of each other. So each frame will repeat the same operation. That's why we just cut this node, connect our small piece to the first input, connect our bottle to the second, and go inside. Paste this morph, and from the previous frame, this is the one that we have the small piece. We need to connect for the first one. From the second input number 2, we need to connect this one. So go to the first frame and see the magic, and that will grow our bottle. Of course, it's a time-consuming effect. It's pretty heavy, and I think it's super fast in this case. We could reduce the speed by multiplication of the small number. Okay, go back. Probably we need to think about, maybe don't need to fill interior, and see what we got. A bit lighter, and I think in this case, in my case, I don't have enough of a bite. Maybe let's do it a bit bigger. Go to the first frame and move our sphere just a bit down and to this side. Okay, this is only for showcase you the effect, and then we go back to my main scene and I'll show you the nuances. So why don't you grow as I suppose you to grow? Let's try with the speed. Press escape, go once again. It's like not enough of VDB. In this case, maybe just do a bit thicker of a wall and see what we got now. And now we have it. So this is the thing I have told you, that flat surface with or even not that thick surface will require a lot more VDBs, a lot more of these voxels. And I don't want to do it right now, but it's okay to me. To me, it's super perfect. Okay, go back, press escape. I just need to change speed again by multiplication by a small number. can see you in a moment. So in this case, what we got the growth effect, as we would expect it. But it's super linear. We want to break it somehow because it's like very symmetrical. And in order to do that, we have this third input in this morph VDB, and that is alpha mask. That would probably work with volumes and noises inside the volumes. So let's try to create one. We go back to this bottle. We want to create a new thread, create a bound effect, bound node, sorry. And that will cover our shape, the dimension of our bottle. So we could see this is super top. Press W to see inside. We could increase by 0.3 all the padding, and that is super useful. Nice. Next step would be create a volume from that, VDB from polygons, again, the main node out there today. And instead of distance VDB, create a fork VDB. Probably need to lower the quality so we could see more of that. Another volume adjust fork, another beautiful node we could work with. And this time we want to multiply our fork with a noise pattern. In order to see that, we use a point from volume, just for visual testing our noise. Again, decreasing the point separation will give you much more points. Nice effect on its own. So this is the pattern of a fork, that our VDB will grow from. Connect this one to the third input. If you hover over alpha mask, you could see a very short representation and description of the effect. And this is you need to be familiar with. And let me see what we got now. So now, as you could see, this is super useful for our effect, and that will break the shape of the bottle. Go back to the main scene and let me show you what I have here, because this is a file cache. Absolutely the same setup, and that will show you the effect we're after. So the same bottle, the same sphere that is cutting a part of our VDB solver, and the same noise pattern, and then file cache. So the next step would be to create a convert VDB node, and that will create polygons out of our shape. That's it. That's easy. Okay. So now we have the geometry and want to build this wave effect on the edge of our geometry. So let's build it from scratch. Let's rename this wave 2 or something. Go inside, create a merge object merge node, and we need to grab this SDF that we have originally, this file cache. Okay, go inside and just paste it here. So now we grab this SDF. The next thing we would do VDB reshape node. This node will, like a big node for the geometry, it will dilate in every direction. Like if we imagine this is a geo and it has normals, it will dilate it in all the direction. So This one I needed like 2 or so, and that will be the cutting voxels for our main SDF. Next thing, we want to time shift it. Let's click on the frame and do like -5. We shift it and the time, and that will start later in the timeline. And again, VDB combine node. I think earlier in my career I did something similar with After Effects when we had masks and shift the timing of the same effect. And in this case, again, we just need not intersection but difference. So now we cut this is the main SDF, and this is shifted SDF with bulged edges, and that will cut our edge of our effect, and that will do it synchronized with our main effect. So it's all we have to do. Oh, we have this first frame, we'll fix that in a moment, but for now I want to, as the F smooth, I want this voxel to be a bit smoother, and I don't need that much because we have these jagged edges on the bottom of the effect, and then probably we could do more and then compensate it with the reshape node again. We need to bulge it again, but not that much, and smooth it once more time. But let's use another operational algorithm, something like maybe mean curvature. Let me see, 2 will be okay, and that's it, to be honest. Then we need VDB convert, not a combine, convert VDB, this one, and we want to convert our voxels to the polygons. Okay, and this is pretty much it. Probably a little more. Try another algorithm. I like this pair. So it will be abstract, and if you want that to be smoother, you need to increase the resolution of your voxels, but to me it's okay. Again, we have this first frame, and in order to fix that, we create a null and create a switch. So this is an empty null, and this is our effect. Just need to understand where it starts. Something like 10 is okay, and write a simple expression like more than 10. What is this doing? The switch effect has select input 0 and 1, and when our expression is true, it back us 1, which is we couldn't see here, and when it's false, it gives us 0, this one, no. So at the starting point we have null, and then after frame 10 we switch to this branch. Okie dokie. This is our wave. We go to the camera, and the wave is perfect, and we probably want to be to change our time offset. I would like to ghost all the effect and try more or less different numbers. Maybe 3 is okay. And maybe after our smooth, combine and reshape, we want it bigger, so we have more pronounced wave to look at. Probably just not showing, just show you already created particles. So I'll not do it from scratch. Grab your wave, add a simple pop network, something like that, into the source, turn off guides, lower the life expectancy, add a pop fluid, so you have this beautiful clamping of the particles. With these settings, a pop wind, a little bit pop wind to the bottom of your scene, so the bubbles like flowing down, and a little bit of wind and noise, and add a pop track with number of air resistance of 2. And that will simulate like underwater effect. These particles will resist the air or something like that. That's it for the particle. It's like a little touch to our render. And of course you want to go to render Redshift OBJ particles and turn that on. So you render like a little spheres and add a material, the same material as we have here. So all these three has the same materials. And the last thing I want to show you is how we could cut the geo, not based on the point count, but based on the UV space, right? It's super cool trick, and I saw that in the middle of the stream I have checked recently, that will just like mention the technique, and I thought, wow, it's a great trick to do. So the main point here, you want to transfer some mask or create a mask. So you could do this with infection solver or like mask from the geometry or distance, whatever you want. And when we have some mask, there are a lot of techniques, and you could check that on YouTube for yourself. I just show you, I will not build it again from scratch, but show you the main point here. When we do something like that, the pretty simple condition when we say, okay, if the numbers for the mask, which we'll have from 0 to 1, is lower than 0.5, remove the point, right? And we have these jagged edges. So because it will remove a point, it will remove it based on your geo count, and you need pretty dense geometry with a lot of points to have it smooth. Again, what we could do instead, we could give our geometry UV, right? Turn on the mask, press space 5 to have the space view with UV vertex. And the next thing, you want to add a split scene, so it will not be all one mass. Then you want to promote your UV from vertex to point, and then you want to manipulate this on point level. Okay, you want to store your position. Okay, let's start with this. So this one is store your in the rest attribute with vector initial state of your geometry. The next one, the next line, will move all the point to the UV space, right? And the next line move your, this will add to your Z position from the position plus equal based on the mask multiplied by some threshold, right? And that will give us some wave based of our mask with the point from our initial geometry, right? And that is cool, because now we just could clip our geo when it's go up. So, and we could see only the geometry which is like infected or which is has a mask attribute with positive numbers. And then you just want to restore a position. So you could say something like position is equal to the rest, which we have just specified here, that the rest is our position, and just do something in the middle and go back to your position that was initial. Again, in this case, I just time shifted. I'm not sure why, but I think it was a point, and switches. So I have nothing before, and just after this specific frame, I have the revealing of the geometry. So you can inspect it yourself, that our cut line is super independent on the geometry count. Create a camera, create your light, arrest dome light, go to your material. Right here, you want to check material, create a Redshift builder material, right this one, go inside, create your material. I just pick the class preset, change the color for your refraction. I changed coding, it's another level for your... Okay, let me show you. It's another level of your reflection on top of that, right? Then I change in the advanced tab a little bit of shadow opacity. That will give you like more of a dense shadow. And that's it. Again, and you could go to out, content, and under the rope, let me pause it. You want to go to the IPR, check this live soap updates deformation, because that will allow you to view your deformation from the geometry inside your render view without updating constantly. Then go to your output, maybe start with the main, select your camera, because for example here I have two. I want to specify the camera, I want to specify the format I have, in this case JPEG, leave this $F4, this is a frame number for the frame range rendering. Under Redshift it's like advanced, all I have changed here is bucket size and sample with a very high threshold with denoising enabled. In this case I'm okay, just to show you the result. So you want to play around with the auto sampling as well. And that's it. Probably all the thing I want to show I have just shown, and hope you could improve it and bring it to your arsenal of the technique. So have a good day and bye bye.